This lesson is on sustainable economic growth. Sustainable economic growth is the increase in an economy's output in the present that does not limit productive potential in the future. Economic growth involves the use of scarce resources to satisfy the needs of the present generation. However, less will be available in the future, thereby limiting the ability of the future generation to grow. This means economic growth cannot continue for a long time. That is, economic growth is not sustainable. Pollution and damage to the environment from economic growth have long-term consequences on the health of the people and hinder growth to continue to occur. Sustainable economic growth involves balancing three objectives, namely economic objective, social objective, and environmental objective. Economic objective. This is achieved when there is better use of resources to generate jobs and incomes for the people. It will provide revenue for the government to invest in infrastructure like roads, which further boost economic activities. There are sufficient resources to be invested in both human and physical capital. Social objective. The benefits of economic growth should be distributed to groups within the society. It should fund education, healthcare, and support for old people. Environmental objective. Sustainable economic growth promotes responsible use of resources. It does not focus on the short-term benefits of resource usage. Resources are used in such a way that the needs of the present generation can be met without compromising the well-being of future generations. Should resources be used or conserved? Using resources now has the following benefits. It creates economic growth. Using resources will help produce more goods, thereby leading to economic growth. However, this happens in the short run. Using resources creates more jobs because output increases. More goods are available for exports, which improve the balance of payments. Using resources now generates more tax revenue because producers pay taxes, and workers also pay taxes. Consequently, more money is available to improve infrastructure and education, which further fuel economic growth. If resources are not used now, but conserved for the future, there are numerous benefits, which include the following. Rainforest and wildlife will not be destroyed and will be available for tourism. Tourism generates income for the economy, and the resources will be available for future use. The quality of air improves as the rainforest absorbs carbon dioxide. The trees then release oxygen to the environment. Also, the resources are available for the future generation. They can be sold at higher prices if their values increase in the future. The decision to use now or conserve depends on the following. The resources should be used now if future demand is anticipated to fall, for example, coal. Non-renewable resources can be exhausted. Emphasis is now being placed on renewable resources, which means that there may be less demand for non-renewable resources in future, for instance, crude oil. They can be used now so that the money realized can be used to develop other industries that will be relevant in the future. Resources should be conserved if they are very expensive to extract now. They can be used when the economy has a comparative advantage in future. A country that is having a serious debt problem should use its resources now to offset the debt, which lessens the burden on the future generation. How to promote sustainable economic growth. There are various policies that can be used to reduce the negative impact of economic growth on the economy. These policies will ensure that economic growth continues and benefits the future generation. The first is issuance of pollution permit. The permit is a license that is bought. It limits the amount of pollution that can be created by a firm. Any firm that exhausts its limit has to buy from others that pollute less. The cost should discourage firms from polluting and encourage them to invest in cleaner technology. Subsidies can be given for clean and renewable energy to reduce climate change. It may be in form of grants or tax breaks to reduce costs for producers and prices for consumers. Publishing information on the amount of greenhouse gases that we generate through our activities, that is, our carbon footprint, would encourage us to change our behaviors willingly. We will want to reduce our pollution because we are aware of the damage our actions are causing our planet. Government environmental protection agencies provide this information. In addition, there are online platforms that allow us to calculate our carbon and ecological footprint. Taxing the polluters is another policy that will promote sustainable economic growth. It will serve as a deterrence because costs will increase for firms. Lastly, some products should be banned by the government because of their environmental impact. For example, polystyrene food containers, plastic straws, plastic cotton buds, and so on. Some are difficult to recycle and do not decompose naturally for a very long time.